all stars, welcome back to my channel. It's DAMNSHEJAMAICAN, your biggest and brightest shining star. So in today's video, I'm very excited because I'm going to be making a video about the moon in the 8th house, and this is my moon placement, and I've always wanted to talk about this placement. But before I get into the video, I just want to say, make sure that you go ahead and like this video, comment down below to add your 2 cents, and also subscribe to my channel if you are new. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Also, make sure that you go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Buy my music on iTunes if you like it. I'm pretty sure you should because I'm really good. And also make sure that you go ahead and listen to my music on YouTube, wherever it is that you stream your music. DAMNSHEJAMAICAN will be right there. Alright, so let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna like tone down a little bit because I'm getting more serious. And this is a very serious moon placement. Alright, so moon in the 8th house. First I'm going to talk about the moon and what it represents, and then I'm going to talk about the 8th house. Now the moon is who you are. Alright, the moon is who you are. It's your soul. The moon is your memory, how you manifest things, your emotions, how you react to things. Now the moon also represents the relationship that you have with your mother and how you viewed her. Alright, the moon also shows how you nurture yourself and others, and also it deals with your ability to manifest things, whether it's good or bad. Now the 8th house represents the 8th house is the ruler of Scorpio, and the 8th house represents everything that is hidden, the occult, anything that's taboo, such as sex, you know, anything that we don't really want to talk about on the surface, everything that we try to keep private. So that's what the 8th house represents. Now when you have your moon in the 8th house, this basically makes you a person that's very emotional. All right, you're very emotional and you think very deeply about things. Like, you're not the type of person to want to connect with someone just on a surface level. Like, you really truly want to get to know somebody, and you want someone to give them your all, because you're the type of person that's willing to give your all. So living in this society, having your moon in the 8th house, it's kind of hard for you to really connect with people because you feel as if people can't really understand you. Because having your moon in the 8th house, first of all, the moon doesn't really like to be here because the moon is at home in Cancer and it's exalted in Taurus, so it falls, so it's in detriment in the 8th house of Scorpio. So having this placement pretty much makes you a person that finds it hard to connect with people, and it's like you see all these other people go out and have fun and be in relationships and stuff, but for you it's kind of it's hard. Like, you want everything, like you want it to be a soulmate type match, you know, and you instantly know when you meet someone that this person's not it. Like, you automatically know. And it's like throughout your entire lifetime you keep running into people and you just keep knowing that they're not the one. So this moon placement kind of leaves you to feel a bit alone and lonely, because you just want to connect with someone so deeply and you want to give them your all and you want that in return, but you realize that, you know, not a lot of people are equipped for that kind of love and know how to love themselves unconditionally, rather to even love you unconditionally. So it's kind of a sad placement to have, because it also makes you kind of manipulative, because you can see right through people. So, you know, like, I'm not even gonna guess, like, you know how to use people, or people with this placement know how to use people or get what they want. But that's not necessarily a good thing, but it could be a good thing depending on what you're using it for. Now also having the moon in the 8th house, I'm just gonna throw this out there, since it's the house of sex, you're the type of person that can manifest a lot of sex, and this is the type of sex that you manifest for like a give and a receive kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. This doesn't have to be for everybody, but for you, you could manifest a lot of sex, and yeah, sex comes very naturally and easy for you. If you do manifest a lot of sex, you're okay with that, but you're doing it for a specific reason. But you rather have a sexual relationship with someone that's more intimate. Like, you don't want to just have a surface type of sexual relationship. Like, you want to have a relationship where you connect mind, body, and soul, like I stated. Now, also having the moon in the 8th house, it's going to show the type of relationship you have with your mother. Now, the moon in the 8th house, people with this placement, the relationship they have with their mother is kind of toxic. She may be emotionally unavailable to you. Like, you know, she might be there or may not be there depending on your circumstances, but she just does not know how to connect with you emotionally. Like, she doesn't know the real you, you know. Like, you feel like your mom don't really know who you are, and that you feel like she will never be able to understand you, you know. So it may cause you to separate from her, or from a very young age you may have been already separated from her due to you know, situations like divorce or something like that. Like, or she may have died in extreme situations. But for the most part, the relationship with your mother is very toxic, and it's not something, you may not even realize how toxic it is. Like, your mom may be narcissistic, or, you know, just something like you may not even realize, because this is your mom and this is all you know. But if you go out into the world and you see how other people relate with their mothers, you would realize that the relationship you have with your mom is kind of detrimental. Now, also having the moon in the 8th house, like I was saying, basically you're very emotional and you feel everything on such a deep level. Like, you literally feel other people's pain. Like, you literally feel people's happiness. Like, if someone literally comes up to you and tells you that they've been stabbed or something 10 years ago, like, you can literally feel that, you know. So that's one thing about that. Like, you literally can feel people. And it's very hard having displacement, because sometimes you are, especially like when you're in a room full of people or just surrounded by people in general, you can be picking up all these different frequencies and you take them on as your own. So people with the moon in the 8th house need to learn how to spend time with themselves, and they need to cherish meditation and cherish having a routine where they do set aside time for themselves personally, so they can get to know their own emotions, their own energetic system, their own space. You need to know your own space, know what emotions are yours, and know what emotions are someone else's. So just piggybacking on the mental part of the moon in the 8th house and feeling so deep, you can suffer from depression because the moon falls in the house of the frozen, the fixed house of Scorpio. So your emotions are very froze. Like, who you are, your moon is very frozen. Like, you feel like sometimes you can't even like really move because of like the situation. Like, you feel debilitating. Like, you feel like you're harboring so much water, and it's really dense and it's icy and it's cold. So sometimes it's hard for you to transform your emotional state of being. It's not really hard for you to transform your emotional state of being because it fluctuates so much. But what I mean, it's hard for you to get a control over your emotional state of being. So there's the difference, you know. Having the moon in the 8th house and experiencing so many mood swings, and I have my moon in Cancer, so I experienced this to the worst. I'm talking like this now because I'm in a very good mood, and I've been consciously like working on my diet to make me feel better, and exercising and all these things to make me feel better. But having the moon in the 8th house, you pretty much always kind of feel down, feel depressed, and you feel sometimes even like you're bipolar, and all these different things. Yeah, you definitely struggle with mental health and emotional health, and it's not something to take lightly. That's why I really wanted to make this video, because I've been studying myself for a very long time in this placement for a very long time, and I feel like I have enough information to talk about it just through experience. But it's just overall a placement that puts you through hell, to say the least. It puts you through everything, the darker side of life. Like, you're very in touch with the occult, the hidden, the mysteries of life. You know so much about astrology. You like to investigate other people to see who they are. You like to read into your birth chart. You obsess over shit like that because that's what gives you peace of mind. You know, like, you're always going through all these chaotic mood swings and all that, and so investigating yourself and learning about yourself is kind of what brings you peace of mind, and it's what calms you down. It's what makes you feel somewhat grounded in a world, you know, full of darkness. And moon in the 8th house people, like I said, they live in the darkness. They're very comfortable with this side of life because it's kind of what they've been knowing for so long. Moon in the 8th house people, it hurts them because they see through others, and they see when others are trying to manipulate them. They get it. They always see when you're trying to manipulate them. Always. They always see when you're trying to manipulate them because they live in the dark. So they understand humans. They understand the negative side of human beings. Like, they understand why humans do the things that they do. So even before you try to manipulate them, these are the type of people, they'll see that you're trying to do it, so they'll just distance themselves from you, and they won't tell you why they're gone. They won't tell you why they've left. They just up and ghost. And you're the type of person, like, you dealing with the moon in the 8th house, like, you don't like confrontation with people. You don't really, because you're already emotionally chaotic within yourself, so you don't really like to stir that up with other people. You don't really like drama, and so you try to disassociate from drama as much as possible, and you try to clear out a lot of toxicity out of your life by just distancing yourself. And for me, I do that, and I think it's healthy. But for some people, they may feel like you owe them an explanation as to why you've left. And the thing with the moon in the 8th house is that they're not gonna tell you why. You know, it's just they don't got time for it, because they know that if you told them, oh, I know you were trying to manipulate me, they know that people are gonna just lie and be like, no, what are you talking about? So they don't have time for all that, so they'll just up and disappear. Deuces, you know, ain't nothing to cut that. Oh, they'll cut you off, like, real stuff. So if you have a moon, if you know somebody with the moon in the 8th house, or you have the moon in the 8th house, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, so I'm gonna cover a side of moon in 8th house that's a conspiracy. People say that when you have the moon in 8th house that you're gonna die young, and I believe that. I do, because I feel like and this is just different. It all depends on even your Jupiter sign too. Like, it depends on everything in your chart. So just because you have the moon in the 8th house doesn't mean that you're gonna die, but it means that you're gonna deal with a lot of death and rebirth in your life. So death doesn't always have to mean physical death. It could turn into that, but it just means that you're always going to transform throughout your life. Like, who you are is always going to change. Like, you're always going to be on this journey of figuring out who you are at your very deepest core, you know. So having this placement kind of makes you a person that is always changing in a way, and it's always trying to figure out who they are and work on themselves. And you always, like I said, you're into astrology. You're always trying to figure out why it is that you do the things you do. Why is it that I'm like this? Why is it that you always want to figure it out, because that's what keeps you sane. So yeah, the thing with the moon in the 8th house, like I was saying, with the whole intimacy and all that, like, you really want to connect with someone on a deep spiritual level. Like, you don't want just the typical old boyfriend girlfriend hit it and quit it type shit. Like, you really want to genuinely feel like you have a whole soul bond with somebody, and that's very hard in this day and age. So you just might feel very lonely, but it's not that you're supposed to, you know. The moon in the 8th house, I feel like personally we're put on this planet to experience harshness and to experience the dark side of life and to experience the taboo, the occult, to be into things that aren't so widely accepted by mainstream society, because we're supposed to help to create our own new way of looking at the world. And like I said, this may be a little bit different depending on the sign you have. I have the cardinal sign Cancer, so I'm supposed to initiate and create new feelings and emotions for myself, dealing with sex, the occult, and all these things. So for me, having the moon in the 8th house, I'm strong enough to deal with these emotions, even though it sucks going through them, even though it sucks being depressed, even though it sucks feeling like you're schizo, even though it sucks feeling like you deal with all these mental disorders, depersonalization, you know, you feel you social anxiety, like you've dealt with every single mental health issue that there is out there. And the thing is, you're the phoenix rising from the ashes. You're the type of person that goes through these dark things, but you will transform, rejuvenate, and change yourself from within. And with that, you'll help other people. So people with the moon in the 8th house, they are into psychology off the bat, and that's kind of where the whole astrology relates as well, because you like to get to know the mind. So you may want to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever. You may want to be, you know, a mental health professional. When I was little, I've always wanted to be a psychologist, like a person that talks to people about their mental health and their feelings and stuff. And now I do that with YouTube, and that's really what makes me like feel emotionally content, is when I do stuff like this. And especially making this video, I'm really happy. I can't wait to post this. But just speaking on this topic just shows me how deep but this moon placement makes you very deep. It makes you someone that knows the world on a very deep level, and you always feel like no one will ever be able to understand the way you see the world, because it's just so goddamn profound and so deep. So like I was saying, with the whole financial situation with the moon in the 8th house, like you may be the type of person that know how to manipulate people to get money out of them. I know, like for me, I exotic dance, you know, so that's one thing. You know, I've been a sex worker. I do sex work, you know, I do all types of stuff like that. And that's what the moon in the 8th house can manifest for someone. So just keep that in mind. Even if you haven't experienced that side of life yet, just keep in mind that if you're thinking of doing something that's like super like taboo, like you're thinking like, oh my god, society would so judge me for this, just understand that that's your natural nature, and your moon is in the 8th house, so you have an excuse to do certain things like that, to be into sex work, to, you know, do those things. Don't ever like look down on yourself because you feel like that. And this ranges from different people. Like I said, no two stars are the same. So that's pretty much all I have for this video. Just to wrap it up, moon in the 8th house, we deal with very intense emotions, and we deal with a lot of pain and suffering. But this pain and suffering is just here to help us heal ourselves and to help heal others. So yeah, if you like this video, if you like this topic, if you have this moon placement or know someone that has this moon placement, please go ahead and comment down below. Let me know more about this topic if you have more information on it. If you agree, disagree, let me know. Also, go ahead and smash the like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, check out my music. I'm a very interesting artist. There's not a lot of artists I know on the internet that do stuff like this, that talk to their supporters, their fans like this, and just really want to genuinely connect with them and help them figure out who they are on a very deep level. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for showing me love. And if you have this placement, just know that it gets better. And maybe watch my videos about depression, social anxiety, all these other topics that I mentioned on my channel. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Thank you. Mwah. Peace. You know, I'm looking in the mirror and I just don't like the person that I see. And it's taking everything inside of me not to pretend that I'm that chick I know I've always wanted to be. But here I am, showing you that what you see is not what it's all cracked up to be. Living my life, up and down, things ain't going right. No. Feel like I needed something to escape this world that I'm living. Living my life, I done did things most would say ain't right. No. Felt like I needed something to escape this world that I'm living. Let's cut to the chase. Been through all the struggles we as women gotta face. So cheap for sex and I just bounce right like what's next. Could've given up, but best believe that was a test. Do I have what it takes to be exploited by the rest? Am I capable to follow my heart and nothing less? See, my life's a rodeo and I ain't afraid to lose control no more. I do this for you and best believe I'm finna touch your soul. They used to tell me to stop and I say no more. But what's the point of being real if you can't see my core? And all the time I used to cry 'cause they